tonight we expanded on the spring cleaning from last week. We talked about out with the old, in with the new again. So we reviewed the basic connection. We start close, arms are relaxed, wiggle them out, take some deep breaths. Followers, whenever you're ready, you can scoot backwards.
Shoulders up, back, down, and drop them. And we're letting them hang. When we do that, scoot.
We talked about hand hold. I like to do middle finger and ring finger stuck together, pointing in. Index finger on the outside, pinky away, thumb away.
And I like to do a monkey paw where we've got this nice little curve. The pad of our fingers are what are connecting, and we have a nice slight curve in the tips of our fingers just to maintain connection as a safety guard, but the thick or pad of our hands is really where we're connecting followers. Once we relax our arms down, let gravity do its thing.
We talked about how you definitely don't want to have thumbs as a leader or as a follower. It's more common as a leader. We did followers revenge, so we had the followers walk backwards first without thumbs and reset, and did it with thumbs lightly, and feel how it's much more restrictive. Likewise for the followers, you don't want to grab onto your leader's fingers, so we did an inside turn, one time with the followers totally open, one time with them squeezing lightly, just so you squeeze it lightly for now. How that's much harder to make the turn work. Even though you're clinging onto your leader, you think that would be helpful, but it's not.
Yep.
We next talked about the basic push break, how when you're in that compression moment, you don't want to be taking your shoulders forward by themselves. You want to have your hips stacked under your shoulders. For a lot of you, that might feel like you're pushing your hips really far forward. But if you look at us here, we're not. We're actually just stacked over ourselves. We revisited the slingshot from last week. 1, 2, 3. That same principle about moving the hips applies. Here, I'm not transferring just my shoulders forward. I'm not pulling Desiree forward, just transferring hips. Then we moved on. We talked about the body roll, how the first step is to have movement in your ribs. We talked about moving right and left. How if you're having trouble with this, you can gently move it with your hands at first. How it's going to be much more helpful to practice this in a mirror than not.
Want to make sure your hips stay silent.
And your shoulders stay silent. We talked about forwards and backwards. Given that we had these two directions, we could make a box. Forward to the right, back to the left. We could smooth that box out to be a circle. Then we could go the other direction. Forward to the left, back to the right. Smooth that out, make a circle. How for the body roll, we're generally going to roll only from our chest to our hips. As each part goes backwards, the next part comes forwards. So I start with my chest forward, then as the chest rolls backwards, my stomach comes forward, then my hips. Finally, the hips settle backwards. Some people find it helpful to think about drinking water. The water goes through your throat, then your esophagus into your stomach, and back through your hip. We talked about how you can do that on the anchor step. I think about as I strike with my right foot as a leader or left foot as a follower, that's pushing my chest forward. 5 and 6. We first did that without the triple step on the anchor. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then how we can add in the triple step. You want to isolate your feet here from the body so that I can do a different rhythm with my feet than I'm doing with my upper body. And lastly, we talked about how you want to isolate the hand too. This is not affecting the connection by like bringing my partner in and then pushing her back. It's keeping constant connection as I had before. That was your lesson. Today is Monday, April 18th, Marathon Monday. I'm Matt, this is Desiree. Thank you all for coming.
Thanks for being here. Let's dance.